Admit it, you doubted him, didn't you? But President Trump was right again. Under Trump's leadership, we saw something that the globalists said was impossible: a manufacturing resurgence. For the first time in decades, companies have begun bringing back jobs to the American soil. Wages are rising for blue-collar workers. Plants are reopening. Confidence among small manufacturers hit record highs. Why? Because they finally had a president who fought for them. You see, the tariffs gave American companies a reason to invest at home again. They leveled the playing field, making it more profitable to hire American workers than to outsource to China. It's really simple economics. When you reduce the advantage of cheap foreign labor and unfair trade subsidies, American industry has a fighting chance. And that's exactly what Trump's tariffs did. And let's not forget the psychological impact. You know, for years Americans were told that we couldn't compete, that the era of American manufacturing was over. Trump shattered that narrative. He reminded us that we are a great nation capable of building and producing the best products in the world. His tariffs weren't just policy. They were a statement of pride in the American worker. Of course, the loony left lunatics, the usual suspects, predicted doom. The media breathlessly warned that Trump's tariff would crash the stock market. Since when did they care? They would raise prices and spark a global trade war. Even the Chamber of Commerce and Wall Street elites wailed about the short-term costs, ignoring the long-term benefits. They were wrong then, and they're still wrong now. Yes, there were some price increases in certain sectors. That's the cost of restoring balance. You don't rebuild an economy without some growing pains. But the idea that the tariffs would destroy the economy? That's completely false. Under Trump, before the pandemic, we had historic job growth, record low unemployment, especially for minorities, and a booming economy. The tariffs didn't kill American prosperity. They helped drive it. And when it came time to confronting China, Trump's tariffs were our most effective tool. For years, both Democrats and Republicans have tiptoed around Beijing, afraid to offend the communist regime. Trump didn't flinch. He understood that economic power is national power. By hitting China where it hurt their trade surplus with us, he finally put real pressure on them. The Phase 1 trade deal, while just a start, showed that tariffs could be used strategically to extract concessions and protect American interests. You know, the real reason Trump's tariffs sparked such outrage wasn't economic, it was ideological. The globalists in both parties saw Trump's America First trade policy as a threat to their vision of a borderless world where corporate profits trump national sovereignty. They didn't care about the working man in Ohio or the factory worker in Pennsylvania. They cared about cheap imports and access to foreign markets. Trump flipped the script. He made it clear that our trade policy would no longer be dictated by multinational corporations and foreign lobbyists. It would instead be shaped by one principle: what's best for the United States of America. That's why the elites hated the tariffs, not because they failed, but because they worked. Even now, the critics are quietly keeping many of Trump's tariffs in place. They won't admit it, but they know he was right. They're benefiting from the groundwork Trump laid, even as they try to erase his name from history. But true patriots see the truth. Doubting President Trump's tariff policies was a mistake rooted in arrogance, ignorance, and a lack of faith in the American worker. The critics failed to grasp that tariffs weren't just an economic tool, they were a moral one. They sent a message that America will no longer be taken advantage of, that our workers matter, and that we're not going to be the sucker in every trade deal going forward. Trump understood what the elites never will. A strong nation produces things, that economic independence is national security, that when you empower your workers, you empower your country. Hey, the next time the establishment scoffs at Trump's bold vision, remember this: they were wrong before and they'll be wrong again. America doesn't need to apologize for putting its own people first. That's the heart of MAGA, and it's why President Trump's tariff policies were not just right, they were essential. So what are your thoughts? Now that he's dropped the nuclear economic bomb on China, and England has come along, and it looks like the rest of the EU is coming along. What are your thoughts? Did he do the right thing? Did you doubt him? Should you apologize? Let us know in the comments.